Finally, this morning, the chief of police of the Seattle Police Department says she's going to clear out that zone of Bolshevik revolutionary sanctuary that's resulted in the deaths of several people. I feel sorry for this woman. She's obviously not up for the job, and neither is the mayor of Seattle. She says that she wants law and order. But you know what? She already has the death of several people on her hands. She should be prosecuted for negligent homicide, and so should the mayor. And I have to commend, because I don't ordinarily compliment Fox News, but I have to commend the monologues of Tucker Carlson and also Laura Ingraham, who have been pushing for the president to do his job. Well, you know what? He got a little respite today with regard to Seattle, but frankly, it was too little too late. He still needs to do his job. He still needs to step up to the plate. He needs to restore law and order throughout this country. It's not enough to arrest 4 people out of thousands who have invaded neighborhoods, destroyed property, looted, stolen, conducted mayhem, and even killed people. The president looks extremely weak, and I want him to look strong. I want him to win. I'm saying that personally, not as the head of Freedom Watch, in the election this fall, because if he doesn't, this country goes down the drain for the final count. And I say the final count because, frankly, we're already hanging by a thread. And in that regard, I caution him as well not to pardon Roger Stone. The judge in the case, Amy Berman Jackson, who I've had my difficulty with, but as I said, I sat through a trial for 2 weeks of Roger Stone. You know, Hannity doesn't say, and neither does Rush Limbaugh, and neither does anybody else, because perhaps they don't know, perhaps they don't read, perhaps they don't want to know, although I send them my publications and my podcasts and everything else. Even though I'm not terribly friendly with Hannity, I send it to him. And the same is true of Tucker Carlson, who has parroted what I've been saying. He even talks about Duke University. I've called it the Berkeley of the South. That's my alma mater. No way I would send anybody there anymore, although I was very proud to be an alumnus of Duke University. And many of these high-tier universities have gone basically ape, and they're now far left, communist. But getting back to Roger Stone, not one witness at trial, didn't take the stand himself, found it within his time to put a crosshairs to the head of the judge, to use Tucker Carlson to threaten witnesses and threaten jurors, you know, with intimidation tactics, that this was just part of the Russian witch hunt. It is not okay to lie under oath. It is not okay to threaten witnesses, including my client, Jerome Corsi, who took what Roger was saying in terms of the defamation and everything else as a threat. We have 5 or 6 lawsuits in that regard that are pending. It's not okay to obstruct justice. And it's not okay to let James Comey go or anybody else go to commit crimes on the other side. But that's the problem of this attorney general, this fat blowhard that does nothing, absolutely nothing, part of the establishment. And that's why you need Freedom Watch. But it's also a caution to the president, because he looks extremely weak when it comes to law and order. He's been accused of playing politics with the Justice Department. Clearly, the Justice Department plays politics on both sides. That's why I left in 1981. I couldn't take the politics anymore. People being prosecuted who were on the wrong side of the fence, people getting a free pass who were on the right side of the fence. So ultimately, I started Judicial Watch and now Freedom Watch, because Freedom Watch does what Judicial Watch used to do, hard-hitting cases. Now we have also citizens' grand juries. And we filled the void because we are your Justice Department. But if the president pardons Roger Stone, he will cost himself enough votes. It's going to be a groundswell of independent voters that he could lose this election. And I hope he sees that, because, you know, he shoots his mouth off saying, Roger, you can sleep at night. You know what? Roger can sleep at night in the prison. As the judge pointed out, there are no cases of coronavirus there. It's not a death sentence. They made special efforts to prevent that. He's actually safer in a prison than he'd be out there on the streets shooting his mouth off. And that's the reality. So there's no reason to use that falsehood by Roger Stone to let him off the hook. He's not going to do probably more than a year. But it's a good lesson for anybody that lies under oath, that threatens witnesses and obstructs justice. And it's a good lesson for him, who has for many years been unhinged in the way he reacts. Now, this is something which I know from personal experience. He was my campaign manager for a few weeks. We went our own way. Tell yourself this. Does anyone who represents Al Sharpton, and he did, that's what he was doing. He was two-timing me, despite the fact that he was supposed to be exclusive to my campaign and not do any dirty tricks. Can anyone who represents Al Sharpton be worthy of a pardon? Are you kidding me? Someone who has started a race war here? Is this somebody that has any ethics or morality? Is this somebody who believes in things deeply or just plays games? So it's time for people to understand. And it's time for the president to understand, to hang around better people. Don't hang around the Stones. Don't hang around the Manaforts. Don't hang around the Rick Gates or Michael Cohens. Hang around good people. And just don't hire people because you see them on Fox News. Hire real experts and get people who are loyal to you. People like Kellyanne Conway. What a sharp woman she is. She really is a credit. And she's had to take on her own husband to do this. I doubt that they're even married anymore, or at least if they're separated, they don't really talk. So, she has sacrificed a lot. You need people like that around you. You don't need the Roger Stones. So that's my method. That's my message for today. President, step up to the plate, okay? You can be a great president. You can be as great as Ronald Reagan, but Ronald Reagan would have not tolerated this lawlessness from these domestic terrorists for even one day. Ronald Reagan would have taken immediate action, as he did with regard to the air traffic controllers that violated the contract with the government, as he did with Gaddafi, who he bombed and put him in his place. So take a lesson from Ronald Reagan. If you do, you'll be taking a lesson from the best. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you for listening to me, and share this podcast. You can find it on iTunes, on Spotify, on Roku, on Amazon Fire, on Facebook, on Twitter, and of course on freedomwatchusa.org. And again, thank you to Radio America, the best radio network in this country, or for that matter, around the world, because they allow me to tell the truth as I see it. And there aren't that many people out there these days who are speaking plainly to the American people. Until tomorrow, God bless you. God bless your family. Stay safe and well. And thank you for listening to me.